What is going on, View Crew? Welcome back to A Certain Point of View on a Monday evening. It is not Sunday. What day is it here on POV? We don't know. It is Monday. We are back.
Jill's not here to tell us. I don't know.
Jill's not here to tell us. That is correct. She is off adventuring Disney World. She is all the way across the country.
She's currently traveling the world in Epcot.
Yeah. And if you know what that means, you know what that means. She's having a lot of fun over there, but we're here holding it down. Having a little fun talking Schmoedown. And before we get to everything, because we obviously have a lot to talk about, and we have a really cool guest tonight, first timer, Andrew Dimalanta, Star Wars champ, Andrew Dimalanta.
How have we not had him on yet?
I know we've been over for a year now, and he's been one of the leading Star Wars players for the last however long, and it's taken this long, but what a time to have him on the show, obviously. So, but with that, Brian, Molly, how's everybody doing? Weekend? Good? Bad? Okay?
It's pretty good.
And
Uneventful.
probably not as good as yours from the Instagrams I saw of your mom's brunch.
Oh, you talking to me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, my mom made homemade eggs Benedict, and it was fire.
It was like just food everywhere.
Too much food. I ate yesterday about 11 o'clock. I didn't eat the rest of the day. I was so full. And it was also, so I got my second shot on Saturday. And I was not in the mood to like have anything to eat. And then I woke up on Sunday and I was starving, but I didn't want to eat before my mom's breakfast because I knew her food was going to be incredible. So I was just like totally pacing myself with like liquids. And then I got there and I stuffed my face, ate way too fast, and I was in a coma the rest of the day.
Well, speaking of food, we went to the first restaurant where we actually like went inside and sat down since the pandemic hit. The first time on Saturday.
So you guys had drinks at a bar.
Yeah. We went out. We went all out. It was crazy.
You saw some live theater.
Yeah.
And then went to a bar.
Our improv theater that we're a part of, they opened up started to do some live shows outside. They like built a stage outdoors. So we did like a drive-in live theater thing. It was fun.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's awesome. Brian, what about you? How was your weekend, man?
Good. I did nothing. I'm trying to show off my Make Solo 2 Happen shirt.
Here, I'll do this for like 5 seconds.
No, I don't want. Don't you dare put me.
And then my OCD will kick
there.
in. There you go. There you go. Boom. Show it off.
I thought you were going to just one screen me, and I was like, no.
I mean, I could one screen you.
Nope.
We saved that for when Jill is eating.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It's always the best one to do.
You know what I was thinking we should do? We should put David B's intro song as just like one of those like lyric videos on our channel so people can listen to it whenever we want. Or they want, not we want. Maybe.
I mean, there's not lyrics to our intro.
That's I know, but but you know, like people just listen to the songs.
I'll upload it to an audio file. They can listen to it like a music file.
Yeah.
How about
Make it your ringtone. Get crazy.
There you go. POV ringtone. All right. Well, we have a lot of cool things to talk about tonight. We're obviously going to be getting into the Danger Zone and midterms match that happened on Friday because we didn't do a reaction to that one. And we're obviously going to be talking about the undercard to Friday's pay-per-view as well, on top of a lot of other things. But first, let's go and talk about this Star Wars match and to talk with us for the first time here on POV. Let's talk to the champ himself. So let's go and bring him on, the Hunter, Andrew Dimalanta. What's up, man?
What's up? Thanks for having me on. Finally getting on here. Like, there's so many shows. It's like, oh, we finally got you on here. It's like, oh, scheduling and other things. Life gets in the way. So yeah, it's understandable.
Well, that and you're one of the few competitors who runs your own after show, and you guys are doing your own little show too.
Yeah, we have since gone away from guests because, again, scheduling with us especially is just so hard because sometimes we film on Saturday, sometimes we film on Friday, sometimes we film like on a Sunday night, and I have like maybe a couple hours just to like make sure everything's fine and then get it up the next day. And sometimes I don't get it up on Monday at all. So,
it's fair.
Yeah, our schedule is so like hectic over here with Nikki's job, our child, and also my schedule is so like all over the place with all the clients I have. So yeah.
Well, outside of the crazy schedule and outside of the Schmoedown, everything good with you guys across the country in Florida?
Yeah, trying our best. I actually get my second dose tomorrow at 10 in the morning, so I'm expecting to be out. Hopefully not. Yeah, yeah. Like, the first one, I I got a little like tired and exhausted, but I took some meds, so maybe that might have helped. So I'm dreading because Nikki got the same. She got Pfizer as well, and she's like the first time just knocked her on her face, and then the second time was like whatever. I was kind of the opposite. I got a little tired, so I'm expecting myself to just be out the next day. So I was like, So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Alex got Moderna, and the second one just completely knocked us out for like a day and a half.
Yeah, I've heard. Because I've heard different things. Because like my whole family got Pfizer, and then all of our friends got Moderna, and it was just the complete opposite of what I was hearing about Pfizer. So I was like, oh man, but I'm glad I'm getting it because you kind of feel invincible now when you're going out. Yeah. It's like not invincible. It's like we're still gonna take it. We're obviously still wear a mask, washing our hands, and all that stuff. It's just now it's like we can start doing more regular things, getting back to the normalcy, whatever that means anymore. So I'm looking forward to it, and just hopefully everybody follows suit.
Well, so it's been an interesting road for you. I remember watching your match against Laura before Spectacular 2 years ago, and that's kind of where everything really started as far as you being an elite player in the Star Wars division. Fast forward to now, you not only won the title, but you also defended the title within a month, which is probably the first time that's happened ever in the Schmoedown. How does it feel to be over the hump? You have the title in your pocket, and just how does it feel to now have this like sigh of relief, like I'm a champion for at least a little while longer?
It still feels surreal. I mean, because like everybody says that the title is always synonymous with Alex. I mean, it's been in your house, Molly, for almost 3 years. So it's like, it's weird to watch your guys' channel and be like, it's not there anymore. It's surreal because it's been synonymous with Alex for so long, and for the past month, it's been feeling, I put it on like for the first week or two. It's been sitting in this office because we had to film with it. But after that, I was like, I need to see it every day. I need to like just get its essence around me. So I put it on our kitchen counter, and it stares at me while I work. it's like that's not Star Wars, Andrew. You should be watching Star Wars right now, Andrew. But like, yeah, it's such a relief because I say all the time, it's like nobody really knows how hard you work for it. Nobody really knows how much effort it goes into competing. And like, it's a sigh of relief that's like, God, all that work finally paid off. The first match, but then it's like, you got to turn around and do it again. So it was like, no rest, just go at it again because Alex is definitely no one to underestimate, obviously. And the same thing be said about everybody else in the division. So it's like I'm still on my A game and making sure that it stays here. But yeah, I felt surreal when I got in because when me and Molly debuted in Chicago, like we went out. I don't know, Molly and Alex were busy, so they didn't go with us to pizza. And I'm sitting over like Christian Harloff and Dagnino and there's a whole bunch of other Schmoedown. Jay Washington was there too. I'm like, what am I doing right now? I'm looking at all these people I followed for years, and like I look up to these people, and like these people that I watch all the time on YouTube. I'm like, this is surreal, and this in competing against top tier competitors and being hailed as one of the top competitors in the Schmoedown. It's like I still feel it's like a dream. It's like, wow, like I don't. It's surreal. That's pretty much what it is. It's just surreal.
Yeah.
Great comment here from Brian Ward, by the way. He could use some images of you holding the belt, apparently.
Yeah, I mean that's.
Have a photo shoot. Have a whole photo shoot with it.
It's great because Nerd Carnage is a wizard at what he does, but like the one thing that I had that's like eking at me, it's like, oh, they don't have any live footage of me holding the belt, or like the only live footage you have of me is in Chicago and in the studio match against Laura. And it's like, how many times can you reuse that shot of me like saluting and like, you know what I mean? So it's like, that sucks about the Corona and digital age. It's like we don't have live footage, slow-mo, awesome BA footage of me walking with the belt because you have plenty of Alex.
Well, you heard it here first, everyone. You might see an Andrew Dimalanta photo shoot here very soon with the belt.
Put out a calendar with just you and the belt.
Oh my god!
I do have a bunch of photographer friends, because being in the business, I've been a part of the wedding business for 5 years, and I'm done with it. But I know a couple of wedding photographers, and know a bunch of other photographers, so it's not out of the realm of possibilities.
That's fair.
Yeah,
absolutely. There, all your congrats come in.
Thank you.
Molly, I'm gonna shoot it to you first. You got any question for him?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the division has come such a long way since we played that match in Celebration. I guess my first question is: are you bummed that you won't be in any tournaments anytime soon?
Man, that's a tough question because just competing in the tournament is so much different, but I think it's kind of the same kind of pressure as title matches, because obviously title matches, a lot's on the line, but with tournaments, it's like you prepare the same way, but you're competing so more often. The last year's tournament was so taxing because it was week after week after week. You win, you got to compete again, and it was live. So there's very little room to slip up for competitors and for the crew as well, because it's just so stressful. I think that's why they're steering away from live events, like live digital especially. But I mean, there is that relief of I get a tiny bit of a break between matches, but also it's there's nothing like tournaments, because you get to compete against not only just one singular person, you get to put a plethora of competitors. So yeah, I mean, it would have been fun to go into another tournament and rack up points if you make it past opponents, but there is that relief of okay, I get to relax for a little bit before the next match.
That's right. You have you've gotten almost all the points for the Mercs right now, right?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, we're at what, 18? I think out of the 18,
he doesn't want to take credit because he knows that before he got the points it was bad, but now it's good.
I mean, there's still a lot more things to be played. The Mercs play for the team title at the end of the week, so I don't want to be bragging over here, oh, my back's hurting, whatever. But at the same time, Bibiani is a huge part of our preparation, and I constantly worry it's you might be spending too much time on other people, and when you have a huge match at the end of the month. So yeah, it feels good to be at the top of the leaderboard on my faction, but I at the same time I want the rest of the faction to do well. I want, and being a Star Wars competitor, there's very little I can do for the rest of them, because it's so hey, you need to know what this creature is in this one scene in the background of the of the Rise of Skywalker. No, okay.
I tried helping Dan study one time, and I was like, I guess I'll look up some rom-coms for you. I don't know, man.
And that's the thing, man. I'm Molly, you could probably speak to this as well. I'll be watching a couple of things when I'm not studying Star Wars, and the problem with my brain is my immediate thought are 5-pointers. And they don't need those, and it's crazy ridiculous 5-pointers that probably will never show up in a singles and teams match. It's just because I bet especially in a Marvel movie, it's you wanted the name of this one character. It's wait a minute, this isn't the Star Wars division. Stop looking at that.
Oh yeah, anytime I hear a string of numbers or see the name of a restaurant, it's just I should write this down. No.
Yeah. Yeah, fleeting lines that happen once in a movie. It's oh, that'd be a great question. Wait, no.
Yeah.
And it's ruining me for other things too. I the other show that I was on this weekend, I said it's ruined me for other things. While I'll be watching a kid's show with my daughter, Calling All Tots is one of her favorite shows, and I'm oh man, how many siblings does Casey the koala have? Would be a fantastic Schmoedown question. So it ruined me to no end, because now I look at everything oh man, that'd be a fantastic Schmoedown question.
Yeah.
Watching movies is a whole different thing now. It is a whole different thing.
Yeah. Is there anyone on the Mercs that has helped you study that they're all right, this is a tough one, and then they ask you a question and it's just that's very easy? Because I know
sometimes it does. We all have our own private chats and DMs, and I'll try to chime in sometimes with as much as I can with Marvel films, because I'm a geek to heart. I don't just love Star Wars isn't the only thing that I love. I love all things geek, and I used to review movies on this channel. But Yeah, I mean, people try it sometimes, but they always do have that comment of like, it probably isn't hard for you, Andrew, but yada yada yada. But Eric has been a great help too. Obviously we talk back and forth on like, hey, what do you think of this? Hey, what do you think of that? And sometimes he'll come up with things that like, oh yeah, that's right. Don't forget about that. So yeah, everybody does try to help to a certain degree as much as they can.
That's awesome. How is it going from? I feel like going from the Finstock exchange to Corky Mercs is a bit of a night and day.
That's what I was going to ask.
jump.
Well, not just that,
sorry.
but it's from Gucci to Koi. That's the big question.
Very different personalities.
It's a very different atmosphere. With the exchange, it was all like this matters. This absolutely matters. If you lose here, you're done. Like whatever it meant, you know what I mean? And with Koi, it's kind of like, relax, man. You know everything that you've prepared as much as you can, and just getting you in a different headspace and all that. And I think Koi is much. I don't want to like not that Gucci isn't like a great manager. He is, like, he's a 3-time manager of the year for a reason. But he looks a lot more at the game aspect, and Koi looks more towards the player and what like just focusing on an individual player and seeing what they need and focusing on that. And Gucci was like that with me, with reminding me to slow down. But then a lot more of our conversation was about gameplay and analytical type stuff. And Koi's kind of like on the flip side of that, of making sure you're right in the right headspace, making sure that you don't just focus on the gameplay and like studying. A lot of what he's helped me is don't forget about the downtime. The downtime is just as important as study time. So I think that's the biggest difference as far as personality and gameplay and just managing style.
Yeah, you seem to really be thriving with Koi.
Yeah, yeah, and I said it before. Like, I mean, people will ask Gucci like, "Oh, did you actually offer Andrew that third spot?" I'll say one thing, he'll say the other. What it really came down to was I recognized that attitude was not fit for me to move forward in the game and making sure that I'm in the right headspace. And I decided to roll on the draft, and it just turned out that, you know, it was the will of the force to be a Merc, because I'm back to being that happy, making sure it's fun type of thing. And that's who I am as a person, really. That attitude, that angry like hunter it felt that I had to force it every time. Mm-hmm. And like just constantly, like, because Schmoedown being the character, you have to be in that position the entire time, and just staring and being angry all the time is just it wasn't me. And I didn't feel, because it made Nikki feel uncomfortable watching me as a heel. She's like, that's not you. That's definitely not you. I'm like, yeah.
And that adds so much more stress to the game too, when you have to play a character that you're really not vibing with.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Well, I wanted to kind of pick off of that, and it's probably something that you didn't even realize last year that was affecting you, and until you landed with Koi, and until you kind of got to experience, and that happens with a lot of players. I mean, anybody can switch from a faction to a faction, and you know, whether it's characters in the Schmoedown or actually like someone behind the scenes in real life, you were probably just going through it, and then the second it happened, you're like, okay, wow, this is exactly what I needed as a player.
Yeah, and that was from like day one, because like after the draft, we all got into a big group like Zoom, and then after I hung up, I'm like, God, this is exactly where I'm meant to be, because with it was that attitude was good for me for a while, like that driving like anger, like it drove me to study, it drove me to get names in my head, like ship names and planets and animals and species and stuff like that. But then jumping to the Mercs was just like, it was fun again. I mean, like I feel like when I was a part of the exchange, I lost that part of me. Like with when I was my first match against Laura, I did that X-Wing entrance. I said that in my first match. Oh, with the exchange, was like, I'm done with that. Like, that's not me anymore. But then turn around with the Mercs, me and Alex did this cutscene that was fun to do. It was amazing, yeah, right. So like that was a part of me that I loved about the Schmoedown that I lost. So just going to the Mercs, I was just reminded why I love the Schmoedown and what I love doing and being a part of it.
So I was trying to find it. Someone in the chat had brought up your X-Wing entrance earlier in the show. But I do want to bring the super chat up. This is from Mr. Tim Sim. How excited were Bibbs and Brendan when they heard you defended the belt? Wondering if it'll inspire them to reclaim the team's belt for Mod Couple.
Oh man, because we were in the group chat, and Jesse was I was talking to Jesse on his stream this weekend, and he was like, "Oh man, I want to stay out of it. I don't want to know the outcome. I want to watch it as a fan." And Bibbs and Koi were in our chat like, "Oh my god, and still." He's like, "Guys, come on." Because a lot of it's on the merch are still fans. We're like, I'm still a fan. Yeah. Like I talk about it on our show all the time. It's like I'm a fan first and then a competitor. But Brent, they're so incredibly supportive, and I continually worried, like, are you focusing too much on me because I'm the one with the match right now? So now that it's over, I hope that they can shift focus again. And I have no doubt that they're still focusing on them, because we all don't. Like I said, I can't contribute to the team as I want to. So it's just me and Eric in our own separate bubble right now, as it is with the internet and Star Wars anyways. So
true.
Yeah. Am I right? I mean, Bibbs has been unbelievably supportive the entire time. Like he'll DM me all the time. It's like, I'm so proud of you. And he's so incredibly gracious as well. It's like, you're just as important and instrumental to this, me getting and holding on to the belt. As is anybody. And he's like, no man, this is all you. And that's something that I really hold on to with Biz and our meetings. Was like the first time we had our mock match, he said, as I said, like, he threw ridiculous stuff at us. I'm like, why are you doing this to me? And he's like, we're not doing this to make you feel good. We're doing this to make you sweat. And the one thing that he said to me was like, you came into this league by yourself. You got to where you are pretty much by yourself, because we can do as much as we can to help you, but it's all you. And that really stuck with me, that he was able to recognize not only that that it's not really just them pushing, they can help as much as they can, but really it just comes down to you. And I think that's not, I got support like that before, but not in straight up saying it that way. So that's what really spoke to me. And Bibbs has been unbelievable. I try to go on Etsy as much as I can to buy as much soap as I can, because it's great. It's sitting in our guest bathroom, and I've yet to I don't want to use it.
I know. I
don't want to use it. It's too good. I just don't want to use it.
Here, Jake, I found your X-Wing.
Oh, there you go. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rashad. Yes, that's what I was trying to find. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
I remember watching that. I thought it was brilliant, and I know that you're super busy, and you and Nikki have a daughter and stuff, but I would love to see more of that if possible. That'd be great.
Yeah. I've been actually trying to do more stuff like that privately for my channel. I actually did because we just finished watching Falcon and Winter Soldier, and the Captain America shield is my favorite. I don't know if you can see the reflection in there, but it's my favorite weapon in the entire MCU, and this my stupid creator brain every time God, I would love to have just do a Captain America throwing shield video.
Ooh.
And I was just thinking about it. I kind of do on my channel already, but I wanted somehow do one where I throw it and catch it. And I was for a week I was just thinking about that, and Nikki was just like, you're thinking about it, aren't you? Yeah. So I actually did one, but it's a one shot, and I'm still working on it. It's been it's been 3 weeks now that I've been tinkering with it, and hopefully I'll get it done in the next week or so. So it's just stuff like that I love doing. It's a part of me that I've rediscovered, and I've never lost it in my personal life, because I went to school for film. I was an aspiring filmmaker and all that. I'm a videographer by day, so creating is in my blood, and I just want to do more of that. Just unfortunately I don't have a whole lot of time to dedicate it to it, but whenever I do get the chance, I'd like to try to do stuff. So keep your eyes peeled on andrewandnikki.com or youtube.com. You might see some videos like that.
Well, so I got to ask, just because, we're an after show, we like to pick things apart and ask the hard-hitting questions. Did you just hint that you might be joining IG one day?
Oh, stop.
Ooh. So,
and this is strictly because Brian Nussbaum asked it in the chat too. Thank you, Brian.
If you would have asked me last year, I would have said yes.
Ooh,
but now it's a straight up no. There has been times where I'm like, oh man, maybe I want to swing it in IG, because I don't want to just be a single tier competitor, when I know I can, because and Alex has alluded to this too, there are matches where I'll play along, I miss maybe 3 or 4. I'm like, man, I'm on it today. I know everything. I should totally compete. And then the next IG match comes up, and it's I get 2. like, well, I guess I shouldn't jump in. And especially now that the competitors are so, it's like, because IG used to be exactly like Star Wars. You saw maybe 2 or 3 matches a year, and then people just came out of the woodworks, and the division just blew up. And that's Star Wars this year. So now it's like, all right, if I swing in another division, I'll split my attention. If I want to continue to be at the top of this division, I can't split my attention. And obviously I wouldn't, I just get demolished in the IG, because like I have my clear strengths, obviously, with, the Star Wars division, but like, I don't think I'm as strong in other ones that I think I might be. And then I obviously have clear weaknesses in other things. Like I have yet to see all the Harry Potters. I sort of remember Star Trek, Lord of the Rings. I love Lord of the Rings, but like, I don't see how to, like, names. It's just like, wait, what's that guy's name again?
Like, how are they even words? Like,
yeah,
just,
exactly.
like, letters put together.
I have trouble spelling space words. It's gonna be even harder to spell Elvish words. So yeah, it's at like right now, like last season it was like maybe I'll try, but this season it's like nope, absolutely not.
People have asked me about IG, and now that Alex is kind of into it, I will say the best part is like just being able to do the level of studying that we're used to doing for Star Wars for so many more movies. I'm like, oh my God, we get to watch a different movie.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's Transformers, if it's a terrible movie. Like, just being able to watch something new and fresh and like study it and take the notes. It's like I said, it's even if it's a bad movie, I'm like, this is fun.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I would be afraid if I did jump into IG that I would study the same exact way I study Star Wars. And it's like, you don't need to go that deep, Andrew.
Yeah.
Because like from every IG competitor that I've talked to, it's like if it appears and is set on screen, and if you watch attentively, you can do well. You can't do that in Star Wars. You have to you have to dissect it, do extra research, go that extra mile. In IG, it's not so much, and I would be afraid that I'd be doing exactly that.
Yeah.
It's like, Captain America's shield is this many diameters around, and he has to throw it at this angle to hit that. It's like, no.
don't give PJ any ideas.
Yeah.
Any ideas.
My favorite thing is always just hearing the competitors after like their match go like, yeah, and we just finished something that was like released like weeks ago, and it's like, holy crap, you guys haven't done anything but study nonstop for the last however long, and clearly that sounds like you too. So
yeah, I remember. I can't remember. I think it was Rachel Cushing said this on. What was it? I think it was backstage when she was co-hosting, that her and Sam would watch a new movie, and even before the movie would start, they go, all right, it's directed by this person stars in it. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, it was released in this date, so it's like Schmoedown has ruined everybody.
Yeah.
Our viewing pleasures, yeah.
It's like the release date, like the year it came out, who directed it, who did the score. It's like automatic, like you have to know those 3 things for every movie now.
Yeah.
It's the bare minimum at this point.
Brian, did you have another question? I know you had a couple written down.
Sure. So, I mean, we know the match turned out the way you wanted it. I would like to know, what was your first thoughts when Alex missed the first question? Were you just like, holy crap, like we go perfect every time. Is this over? Like, or just like, what was your thought process when the very first question? Because
I mean, it wasn't the fact that Alex missed it. It was the fact that they went there. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Because like I said it in my match, like that's like the hardest first question I've ever experienced. Because it's like the second they said, oh, like the Rise of Skywalker, I'm like, all right, it's going to probably like, who plays this person? Or, like a almost surface level. I hate to say surface level, but like when they finish asking the questions, like, oh, the creature that's with the old woman that greets Rey on Tatooine. I'm like, oh, they went there. And like, I immediately thought like, okay, it's going to be that kind of match where it's like haymakers after haymakers after haymakers. And what I loved about this match specifically was the questions and the fact that just the breadth of questions, not the fact that like they hit us with these ridiculous deep cuts. It's the fact that the way that the questions were structured and the order they were, it's like I thought about this earlier today, that it's like I'm a big football guy. Like if you come out and you blitz the quarterback, like if you like face Tom Brady or Peyton Manning and you blitz them every play, you might get them the first 2 times, but then they're just going to carve you up the rest of the match. You can't just keep going at them and blitzing. You got to mix up your coverage, go man, go zone, blitz out one play, and then maybe just bring the corner in the next. And it's stuff like that I really appreciate about this match. Was like, we got Itobi the first question, and then maybe the next couple questions like D. Bradley Baker. Okay, and he lulls you in this false sense of security, and then hits you with a "we need the exact quote" type of question. I was like, wow, we're just being forced all over the place, and that's what I loved about these questions. And I really hope this is where the division goes now, because it's so much pressure to go perfect every time, and that's what the pressure is pretty much on every player now. It's like, if you don't go perfect, you're not going to win. But I think what this match shows us now is that we can't have matches like this where we're not going perfect every time, and like if you miss one, you can certainly come back and win it. So I'm really hoping that's where PJ recognizes on this match, is like, yeah, we can have more matches like this, especially when the two guys to the top were missing multiple questions. So so I was definitely surprised. I was like, oh man, I'm so glad, because Itobi's been in my notes forever. So I'm glad they finally asked it. So there's just, I'm sure Molly and Alex can speak to this. Like, there's so many things in our notes now. It's like, when is they going to ask that one? When is it coming? So
yeah. I mean, for question wise, that to me seemed like the biggest roller coaster of questions. Like, you'd go from like something you're just like, what in the hell? And then like, it's like, oh, Luke Skywalker. Like, it's just like something so easy. And it's just like, I felt like, honestly, that was the most, just not all over the place, but like well balanced, hard, medium, and just an easy level that I've seen in a long time, especially in Star Wars. Yeah.
So because again, with the football analogy, if you look at this, it's like play calls of the year. Like, it's like one of these matches where like you're in the Super Bowl and you've been holding on to all these plays and that sequence of plays all year just for this one opponent. So hands off to PJ and the writing staff, because like they really pulled it out for this one, not only difficulty wise, but just like unexpected like turn events and stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like PJ was like, all right, I can't do another however many round overtime in Star Wars. I've got to trip them up.
Someone's gonna miss a damn question. And
I'm glad we both didn't go perfect in this one. We didn't go to sudden death, because the pressure of going perfect again is not looming over my head anymore. Because if I would have gone perfect in this match, it's like, when is he gonna miss?
Yeah.
I don't have that over my head anymore. And also now the 51-50 match is special now, because it's going to be, if the questions continue to be like this, it's going to be a while before we see a match like that ever again. And I'm glad that me and Alice got to be a part of something so special and so like cemented in Schmoedown history now. Because Alex already has his place in the history books. Like, now I get to be alongside him.
Finally, he's out of the spotlight again.
I'm still in the shadow a bit in this one, but I'm there. I'm on the page.
Well, while we continue the conversation, speaking of Alex Damon, the former Star Wars champion actually is with us right now. So I'm going to go ahead and bring him in as he's been sitting backstage. There he is.
I was been like, oh God, I want to talk about the questions too.
I figured you would.
What's going on?
Completely agree. Hey, I'm good. Still drinking the sorrow away, but
this isn't water in here, by the way. So I gotta relax too.
I do want to ask, because you three out of the division we have right now you're the longest running active players who are involved in all this right now in the Star Wars division. And Molly, you're recently competed, but you've been involved in it for a long time, obviously. The questions, the overall dynamic of the league, how it's grown. I would love to just hear like a conversation about like watching it grow over the past couple of years, PJ and the questions, just the balance of everything and how it's kind of grown so far this year.
Well, I definitely feel like I need to say that the questions were great, because I know that PJ watched me on this show being like, it was 51-50. It was like great, but I thought that they were kind of like, no, not this time. Like, I agree. I love that we did not go perfect in round one. And even the very first question, I was like, oh shit. So I like that. And I also really like the kinds of questions where, like, I don't know how I would study for anyone versus anybody. And it's not a question of just like this technical, do you know a ship model or a weapon or whatever species? It's just like, how well do you know these movies? How many times have you seen them? Can you play it in your head? And it's like, I took that extra time and I was like, no, it's anyone. And I'd like, I appreciate all the variety of questions that go in here to trip us up. So
yeah, that
just
was the word I was
PJ.
searching for. That was the word I was searching for. I was like, oh, plethora, broadness, variety. There it is. I know what it is.
Yeah, I've never played a perfect game, but I am like very adamant on the show talking about make the questions harder. And like, yeah, after losing a match, I'm like, yeah, I lost, but I want harder questions still because like that's the stuff that I'm studying. So I like Alex said, you get what you wish for.
It is. We tend to study just like 5-point stuff, and then he'll come along and trip you up with just a line from the movie that you're like, oh god, I should know this.
Yeah.
Or the Itobe, I was just like the whole time I assumed that was an Eope. I never.
Yeah. it's funny too because I heard people were like, "Oh, benefit of the doubt, benefit of the doubt." I was like, "It's a completely different creature."
Yeah.
Yep. Nope.
Like, I said it on my show. It's like if you're out in the field, I'm like, "Hey, man, look at that horse over there. That's a donkey. it's not a horse. It's a donkey." So,
That's fair.
yeah, and one of the things I really liked about the questions was that it wasn't like you said, it wasn't like something like you can concretely study in your notes. It was like questions that made us go, wait, is it that? Wait, no, hold on. And you're forced to repeat because you're like, did I mishear it? Because I definitely misheard a couple of questions a couple of times, and obviously I missed the two in the first round. But like I really appreciated that. Like I want to see this where we force competitors sort of like think about it a little bit longer. To where it's like, did I hear that question right? Because I know it's this, but the way they said it, it's like it could be this. No, it isn't. Like, and just that the split seconds of forcing the competitor to be like, yes, is what I was looking for, and we got it several times in this match because I think there was 3 questions in the first where it's like we need the exact quote, and you're like, shit.
That's it's all mental torture in the Star Wars division. I feel it's every question is like that.
But that makes it so much more satisfying when you do win because you're like, I did something right. Like I got that one question that's been in the back of my head for however many years. Like like you said, Andrew, there's always those little questions that you're like, okay, when are they going to ask this? I really hope they ask me this.
And it makes Nikki feel so like really proud because like there were like 3 or 4 questions where she's like, I told you. See, I've been backing her for like 5 years.
I was watching your show earlier and it was the Corday question.
Yeah, from Zach
from
and,
a different
Adam.
match, right?
Yeah, from a different match. Like we'll be watching this and like I'll be sitting and playing along. And like she'll be sitting next to me and that, the Corday question came and she literally slapped me in there. I'm like, see? You said they wouldn't ask that. See? Like, oh,
that's what I said. I mean, watching the other matches when a question like that comes up and you're like, oh my god, because it's like Corday has one line.
Yeah,
like you're expected to know who plays her.
Yeah, and there's that little like sigh of relief, of like, oh, thank God I didn't get that question because that wasn't on my mind at the time. So, yeah.
I feel like even with the questions, like they're wording them that. It could be an easy answer, but sometimes they've been wording them like you're just like, wait, is it? And then you're like questioning yourself, but then you have to almost kind of like use your whole time and talk yourself through it and go, yeah, no, it is that. And I mean, to me, in my opinion, I'm completely different for you guys. Like that's kind of the fun questions that you want to see because you're like, it's questioning, you're studying. Like, did I read that right? And just the way they ask it. So I don't know if that's something you guys agree with, but
there's probably some sort of like it comes back around where I think if you are brand new to Star Wars trivia, you'd probably be more confident in any answer that you're giving. And then like the more you know, the more you just like you're in your head thinking, no, they could mean something else, and you're just second guessing everything. I don't know when that point is when it starts to click and you're like, well, do they consider a moon a planet or not? And like, I don't
Oh boy.
Here we go.
So apparently I'm completely wrong on this because like, I said like on our show today, like the whole moon versus planet thing. And I was like, yeah, technically in the movie, it's the forest moon event. They call it a moon. But I was like, man, but that it's a planet. It, you see it as a planet, has an atmosphere, and whatever. And then I get schooled in the comments, and it's like a moon orbits a planet orbits the sun, and it's like, yeah, you're right.
It's true, but it's still one of those, like, if they ask how many planets are in this movie, and then you're like, well, are you counting Yavin 4 or not? And it's like, well, now I have to give 2 answers, one with like all of them, and one with, but here's the moons broken out. Like,
as soon as they set that as a precedent, I mean, I don't know if they're gonna be super like strict on that in the future. They'll probably change the wording to be like location, moon, or planet, because if they're gonna ask how many planets,
planetary bodies, maybe.
Have you like differentiate
bodies.
Yeah, there you go.
That's like that's a lot, because there's so many moons that people would just think that it's a planet.
Yeah, there's a couple that have gone through. It's like, oh yeah, that's a moon too. Damn it.
You now need to learn astrology just to compete in this. Astronomy, not astrology. That's the wrong thing. Never mind.
Need to get a
Or
book on Neil deGrasse
astrology.
Tyson or something.
Yeah. Oh man.
Well, I want to ask, and I don't know if you guys have been paying attention too much, but FCL has now been doing a little Star Wars as well. And last week they did their May the 4th edition, and they included a little bit of the TV side of it all. Just a few questions here and there. It was one slice, one category, and it actually got brought up a couple times, which is really cool. Clone War or Rebels once and Mandalorian twice, I believe, were the questions. Is that something that you would love to see the division transition to? Maybe just like live action, Mandalorian, or all of it, or maybe being that Star Wars is just 12 movies. At some point, it's going to need to expand because there's only so many questions you can write. Is that something that you guys would be interested in?
Who wants to go first?
I'm like, do you remember
yes.
I haven't seen the questions yet. How hard were they?
Yeah, we haven't watched the FCL.
So one of them, so this was a 5-point question for one of the competitors. It was which 2 characters did Sam Witwer voice in Star Wars Rebels?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a 5.
That's a 5-pointer.
Yeah.
But again, this is the FCL. Remember, keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it would be fun. Maybe it wouldn't happen until there were enough seasons of live action to where it would only be live action, because if I have to go back and study the Clone Wars, that's a lot to study.
Yeah.
Same with Rebels, but like it comes back down to, like, I don't want to keep seeing people get perfect games, especially rookies. So I'm like, if that's what it takes to make people
especially
miss,
rookies.
if that's what it takes, like throwing TV trivia stuff in there, I'm like, yeah, why not? Maybe it'll take the pressure down a couple notches.
I'm mixed on it. Like, I would be on board, but it's also like, the movie trivia Schmoedown. And I think that PJ just proved that, he can mess us up.
Yeah.
But I also understand that, like, that's not an easy feat for him to do.
Yeah. That would be my concern is, if they do introduce it, I'll do the work. I'll watch Clone Wars over again and all that stuff. But like at the same time, my concern is with the writing staff, and it's just the crew in general, because like if they're saying they're running out of questions, but they're not. There's plenty of other stuff to be asked, surface level and deep cuts. Just look at all 3 of our notes. We're not running out of questions. But my concern was like if you're gonna have to hire more writers, you're gonna have to have them go out and write these questions. Like, you're going to tell me you're going to hire people just to watch all of Clone Wars and write questions just to make sure it's diverse enough.
Brutal.
Yeah. And so that's my concern, is like on the staff of the Schmoedown, because it costs money to put this stuff together, and to hire more people, it would just be more work that it would have to be done across everybody's plate, not just the competitors, but everybody's. And so if they do end up doing it, I get it, and I'll do the work if I have to. But it's a lot of work for just whether they only have 3 writers right now. You'd have to hire more. So
yeah, it's true. A couple comments I want to get to real quick. This one's from Star Wars in a Galaxy, real quick. Any specific rookies that you don't want to see do well, Molly?
It's not that I don't want to see them. It's not that I don't want to see them do well. I'm just saying, seeing rookies play a perfect game like right off the bat, I'm like
Young whippersnappers coming into our division.
Yeah.
And then next one is from the great Will Watson. Thank you, Will. You know I
Hi,
had to roll
Will.
through and
Hi,
say what's
Will.
up with the View Crew. It was a great match. Met the Damons in Atlanta. Hope to meet the Hunters sometime. You all rock. Thank you, Will. As
Thanks,
always. Well, I want to ask this question because it is coming. And it's a little ways away, and obviously this is all fresh. But Laura Kelly is headed your way, Andrew. She is headed your way, and it's going to be a collision. At the end of June, I believe it'll be.
I don't. I'm scared. I would be scared.
I know
to play
you're probably
Laura
gonna
again.
possibly. It's only been a couple days or whatever, but how's the preparation going? How's the thought process going?
My lord, Jake, let him breathe for a weekend.
Do you think he's breathing? He's the Star Wars champion. He's gonna prepare. I mean,
It's the same as
I'm just chilling, man. I was downstairs watching a documentary about Atlantis. It has nothing to do with IG, Star Wars. I was having the time of my life down there.
Wait. There's other things in Star Wars,
Right?
Wait, what?
I forgot.
Yeah, no, it's the same as my last match. The first match against Alex was we won, we celebrated, and the next day it was back to work. It was basically like what I did was I had my digital cards and basically hit reset on all of them. How many? I don't even know how many I have anymore. But it's a lot. But it's basically just hit reset, go through all of them again, see if I have any blank spots, look at the match that we just played, figure out why I missed what I missed, and polish that up. I mean, every competitor can say the exact same thing. We all pretty much have the same study tactics. It's just so I'm really hard on myself sometimes that I don't allow myself breathing room sometimes. And I did take an extra break this weekend because it was Mother's Day. But other than that, I was just like, all right, back to work, back to watching, back to studying, back to trying to find that one question, because I say it all the time, like pretty much what we're all doing is just scouring the movies for that one thing, just that one thing that nobody else knows. And I'm constantly surprised that it's like, I bet they don't know this. Oh, I'm going to surprise everybody when this question comes up. But then it comes in a match that I'm not a part of. And it's like, well,
Yep, there it goes.
There it goes. And on the opposite of that, like we all experience this. Like we all have that one thing of like, I can't wait. And then it gets asked, and it's not me. Oh,
That was me with 7 whoopee whoopee.
Yep.
When Sean got that question, I was like, oh no,
that was mine.
So
Yeah.
I know you have obviously had your eye on just these couple of matches. Is there anyone that you've watched rookie wise that you're like, interesting?
I mean, all of them have gotten questions where I was like, oh wow, like every rookie match have had maybe 1 or 2 questions where it's like the Itobi thing where it was like, oh, they finally went there. Wow, awesome. So all of them have something to prove, and they've all have impressed me in ways where it's like, wow, I didn't realize they would know that. Or the fact that they come in, I was like, maybe we might have a couple of tiers of like, well, people that miss like a handful of questions and don't go perfect, but pretty much everybody has gotten questions where I was like, wow, good for you, man. Like you're clearly doing the work. You clearly understand how this works and doing the work to make sure that you're on top of your game. So, but out of all of them, I'm like, I think somebody that really just like, I looked at, I was like, wow, they clearly have done their work was Thomas. Cause like I was trying to like listen as much as I could on him, and just cause like the guy that's won Dragon Con so many times, I want to know as much as possible about him.
Just 2 times.
But like he struck me as somebody that like was clearly already understood how the game works, and he'd done his homework, and he really like when I was watching him play, he seems so insanely careful about how he answers. He takes all the time needed. And like I remember watching his second round, and I think he was like literally writing out each question out of his ass. I was like, whoa, this guy's really like taking his time with it. And I think that's something that rookies coming in forget to do. And I was really like taking it back to like, wow, he clearly knows how to play now. And he's very careful. And sometimes people equate speed to like good play, and that's not 100% all the time. So that's what really spoke to me about Thomas and his gameplay.
meticulous is the
Yes.
word I would use to
Mhm.
describe him at
Yes, thank you,
DragonCon.
Alex. Thank you, Alex. That was the word I was looking for.
Well,
The first-
sitting next to him at DragonCon, like he has a little card where he like is marking down every answer that anyone gets right, so he knows where he's in the standings at all times. And I'm just like, oh my god.
I remember the first time we like watched Dragon Con trivia, and like you were in it, but it was the first time we had like talked and met Thomas, and like watching him play. This was before I was in like playing in the Schmoedown. Watching him play, I was like, man, he takes this way too seriously. And now look where I'm at. So, yeah, I'm so excited to see like how he does and where he goes in the division, because he gets in the zone. And
Yeah, who takes this seriously? God.
Thomas
Well, I
reminds
mean-
me of the person like at DragonCon that would be like have 2 manila folders, just like no one's gonna look off my answer sheet, even though we're verbalizing it. Just
He's that
all
guy at the SATs, eh?
yeah.
Alex, did you? Is there anybody in the division this year that's kind of come up outside of Thomas, maybe, or even outside of Zach too, because he has a friend that you guys have kind of keeping your eye on, a rookie wise?
I guess Gold Leader, because he just really seemed to have it out for me, and now it's like now he doesn't care about me; he cares about Andrew. So-
just because he lives in Atlanta, he was like, I'm coming for you,
I get
Damon.
yeah, well, whoever had the belt, I think he was just like going straight for them, and now he's like, nope, all right,
Well,
go.
it's a 6-hour drive from there
Yeah.
to here, right?
Got a little time.
Yeah.
We did have one super chat that came through from Thin Blue Line here. Dear God, please, please, please let there be a Dimalanta versus Dimalanta match during the next Star Wars tournament. Amen. Well, Thin Blue Line, that means that Andrew would have to lose
Mhm.
in June for that to happen. Interesting.
Or Nikki sweeps through the tournament.
Or Nikki sweeps the tournament. Yeah.
Yeah.
How
I
excited are you to see her play?
I've been waiting so long. I have no idea. when
Every
she's gonna
every
play.
show you bring it up, she's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I keep telling you, Star Wars competitor Nikki Dimalanta. She's like, that's debatable. It's like, you got drafted. No, I was so incredibly excited that she decided to play, because I've been trying to chip at that for years, like because she's been by my side every step of the way, and she's been like thinking of crazy 5-pointers to just to get into my head. Like I said it earlier, like the whole who played Corday was her baby. So I'm so incredibly excited. And when she got drafted, we were playing games with our friends, and she was peeking at Twitter every once in a while, and then she goes, "Oh no!" And I'm like, what happened? And she's like, I got drafted. I'm like, yes! I cost us some matches. We were playing Overwatch, and I cost us a round because I was like so excited. My hands came off my keyboard and mouse. I'm like, yeah! She's like, no, because she doesn't give herself enough credit. I think she has what it takes to be a top tier competitor. She just won't hear it. But I'm excited to see when she does, because I haven't heard anything. I hope she debuts before the next tournament, because I want her to be, properly seated with people. I don't want her to go into the tournament with no record and get put against Alex.
With my luck, that'll be me. Everyone will finally get it.
I mean,
You want
please,
that.
You've been calling for
calling
Damon
for it.
versus Damon forever.
I would love to
Yeah.
have.
I mean, I'm
yeah.
just saying, I would have said anybody.
Yeah, put like Alex on one side, put Molly here, and then put Nikki here, so we can have a Dimalanta Damon quarterfinal, semifinal.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I think I might be the only person like, yes, give me Alex in the tournament. I know what you know.
We did get another super chat here, and this came from Commander Bly.
Oh,
sitting
no.
right here, just-
Come on.
Congrats to Andrew for retaining the belt. There you go. Thank you,
you.
Bly. Thank you. Much.
I'll never forget the day where that box came, and I was like, what is that? And you showed me it was the Black Series Bly, and I was like, oh my God.
Oh wait, did you order this specifically for the promo?
Yeah.
And for, of course you did.
And because he's like, I want it near me at all times, so it reminds
not-
me.
fuel
that
his hatred.
I am weak.
Like now he's gonna throw it across the room.
I've just been sitting right here.
Yeah, 'cause you threw that thing like in our cutscene. I was like, oh no, that might be what are you doing? Probably had that for years. Nope.
Oh, the 8D8 one.
Well, that too.
Oh yeah, the 8D8 I've had for this. See, like everything is still sitting right here on my desk. I got my belt. I got the 8D8. Like
The emotional support belt. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, Molly, do you guys have any other questions before we get to our POV question for Andrew?
Is there anyone that is not a rookie? I'm trying to think that you haven't played that you're like, I would like to play them. I'm trying to think.
Man.
I feel like you've played everyone.
No, I haven't played everyone. So I played, I've obviously played the Daemons. I played Laura. I've played Ace. Played Scrimshaw. I haven't played Sean Sullivan. I haven't played Adam Witt. Who else is there that was in that tournament last year? I haven't played Ken, but he's retired, so that ship sailed.
Mm-hmm.
God, yeah. There's been a handful of people that I haven't played that I would like to. But it's just a matter of when at this point. So
Yeah.
That's fair.
Alex,
So
what about you?
Sully-
Anybody?
I think Sully and Adam are the only two people I haven't played that aren't rookies. So
They've
You haven't
been
played
watching
Molly?
you.
either.
you haven't played Molly.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You feel like you play her every day.
How dare you?
That's the life of marriage, people. You feel like you play them every day.
That's true.
We played many mock matches, so
That's true. That's true. All right. Well, we'll finish this off with our typical POV question here. And since this is Andrew's first time on the show, and Alex, you can reiterate yours as well. But movies that brought us together, and whether it's Star Wars or anything else, we always ask our guests here, what is your favorite candy and what is your favorite movie snack, if they are different?
So favorite candy would have to be Milky Way.
Ooh, okay.
I've always loved Milky Way. Like a close second would probably be Kit Kat. No. Yeah, but Milky Way is the automatic, like, yep, favorite candy. Favorite movie snack, popcorn, obviously. But with the like Reese's Pieces like sprinkled in if I feel like spicy. But yeah.
If I feel spicy.
You're feeling wild that day.
I'm feeling wild, like, I'm just gonna treat myself. But yeah, popcorn. But like, I'm weird though because I haven't ordered popcorn in the theater. Well, the last time I was in a theater. But when I used to review movies, it's like I want to focus on the movie. I want to dissect it. So I never really had ordered popcorn. But I think the last time I had popcorn in the movie theater was probably Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, I think that was the last time I had popcorn in the movie.
About a year and a half ago. Wow.
I'm curious. I have another random question. Who is your favorite Star Wars character that is like just not important to any of the plot whatsoever?
Oh man,
stealing my question, Brian? No, that's just like my standard icebreaker interview question.
Oh, is it? Oh,
I mean,
I don't watch your stuff. So.
I'm a huge. Oh wow! Ouch. I'm a huge Wedge Antilles guy. When the Aftermath trilogy, like the first book came out, I was like, oh man, we're opening with Wedge Antilles, awesome. But then he gets injured and he's out of it for half the book. Like, what is this? I don't want to read this, but he's an important character because he's been in 2 Death Star battles. I think one that I've been gravitating towards would probably be. God, there's so many good ones. I don't know because I don't want to give anyone any answers.
That's fair.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm a big Wedge Antilles guy. I've always loved Wedge Antilles, and and if he's not a key player or key like the main at least a main supporting character in the Rogue Squadron movie, I'm gonna be very upset.
I was just about to ask you if you'd be pissed
if they introduce some rookie to the squad and it's like, oh, we're gonna follow them through their growth through the squadron, I'm gonna be like, come on, give Wedge Antilles his movie, please.
It's gotta be Wedge, Dennis Lawson back as Wedge, passing the torch to the next generation.
No, I want to see him start the movie like, man, back in my day in the rebellion, this is how it was, and they go off in this weird story of like Rogue Squadron doing the impossible again. It's like, this is one mission. I remember this one mission that it felt dark.
Then, who would you want to play Wedge? Or I guess they could de-age Dennis, but like that's my thought has been like, I think they'll just bring Dennis back to be his age and still be the flight instructor, squadron leader, still like be flying.
I don't
I
want
think
Chris.
he'd still be flying.
Chris Pine.
I want, yeah.
No.
I want
Chris Pine has been in enough.
He plays a pilot in
I
like
don't know.
everything. He's fine.
Because I think you could recast. You obviously could recast Wedge Antilles because of he's not like Han Solo recasting Han Solo, man. But I want to see Wedge Antilles in the prime rogue leader role. Yeah,
That'd be pretty cool.
that'd be awesome. I love Rogue Squadron. Like when they got announced, I was watching it on stream, and Nikki was cooking dinner, and I went yes, and she's like, "What happened? What happened?" And she had a knife in her hand. Like, do I have to kill somebody? What happened? And I was like, Rogue Squadron.
Alex was just
Another
pacing
movie.
the room, like, what does this mean?
I just like stood up and started walking. That's how I get excited.
Well, Alex, do you have one outside of Biggs? A character?
Max Rebo is probably my second. Like he's the person that I start just collecting their stuff. And Sully sent me earlier today. They announced a Max Rebo Tiki mug.
Tiki.
So that'll be the latest edition.
It's not the handle? Is that what it is, or no? Come on, his name has to be the handle.
Hold on, I have it pulled up. I just bought
I
it
think
very
it's
quickly.
just a one little,
Oh man,
Nah.
missed opportunity.
yeah.
I agree.
I mean,
we
the base of it should be the piano.
The
but-
bass is the
Yeah.
piano.
Oh, it is?
They-
Okay.
okay, they got that right.
we did get a quick Streamlabs before we move on here. This one came from Malcolm. For the Star Wars players, do you ever dream about Star Wars? Any interesting ones?
I think my dumbest dream is that when Squadron was about to come out, I was dreaming about playing Squadrons. So not dreaming
Oh,
like I'm in an
God.
X-Wing cockpit flying around. No, I'm sitting here in this chair
In the
playing.
game chair.
Yeah, that was
That's
dumb.
a good one. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think I've had a couple of Star Wars dreams. Some that I can share, some that I can't share.
Ooh.
But yeah,
What's that mean?
there.
Interesting.
There.
Interesting.
I can't tell if it's trivia or sexual. There were weird answers floating around in the dream.
But I've had like you, Val. I've had dreams of like my profession. Like I've had dreams where I'm editing, but not on a computer. Like I'll look at clips on the ground and I pick them up and put them up in the air, and like I move them and I cut them and I look up and I go, no, and I slap it down. And I pick it up off the floor, and I've had
That's
Tony
that's for me
Stark.
watching Iron Man. I mean,
Yeah.
Molly.
yeah, but it wasn't like there weren't like holograms. They were like cardboard, and I was like, "Nah, that doesn't look right." But I've had dreams where I'm editing like a Star Wars like something like a movie or a TV show. Like so, like when my two passions collide in my head at night.
I've never had a Star Wars dream, but I have had several Schmoedown nightmares where it's like,
Yep.
I haven't watched Star Wars in like a year, and then they're like, your match is tomorrow. Bye. Click. And I'm
Oh, you
like,
mean how it works in real life?
oh,
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Sorry.
Sweet.
I don't mean that. No, that's not how it works.
yeah.
Oh, that's a great one to end on. That is a
I think
great
you're getting
one
a
to
phone
end
call to play Laura next week.
It's tomorrow.
on. Well, gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Andrew, it was great to have you on the show finally. I'm sure we'll definitely have you back very soon as well. And I know your match isn't for a little bit, but we can't wait to see what happens. It's going to be a crazy match. You're going from one heavyweight to the next. And Alex,
Yeah.
always good to have you on the show as well. So
Yeah, doesn't get any easier for any of us.
Not in your division.
It doesn't matter
Well,
who you're
I'm sure-
playing anymore.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure we're all looking forward to a Dimalanta Damon 3 down the road. But Andrew, good luck in the next match.
Yep.
And Alex,
you.
we look forward to obviously seeing you in the tournament as well. So thank you guys.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna keep resting.
Thank you so much. Oh my god.
Guys, well, have a good night. Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you.
guys.
Yep.
Oh, that was good. That was good. That was a lot of fun.
I can't believe you watched that Atlantis documentary without me.
All right. Well, we've gotten to a lot of Star Wars talk, and we'll be talking about it here very shortly because we do have predictions for one Star Wars match. But let's shift gears a little bit to the undercard of Dimalanta Damon, which was a really, really good match. And that is two rookies who won their first matches. One of them was a just TKO, not a knockout, but just a total just sweep of the board up against a comeback. And that is Rick the Rager Radis up against PG Peggy Gubbins. And, you know, Peggy was on the show. She was calling out Rager. Christian, I know for a fact that's where this match came from. I'm holding you to it.
We're not saying that we give them their ideas.
We've called like 3 matches already. We predicted like 3 matches already. But anyway, this was a great undercard match. And typically, what happens is that when you have an intense title match like they did with Dimalanta Damon, you kind of have one that's like fun, loose, 2 great players. This was a heated match to begin with. Obviously, Peggy's connected to Christina V, right? They're part of the Family 4, so she wanted revenge. And the Rager's just calling out everybody. He wants to prove himself. He's part of the exchange. It makes sense. And Peggy was playing great. Complete opposite of what she was playing the entire game, or her first match, excuse me. She had the lead for most of the game, and she unfortunately just lost it in the last 2 questions. Rager comes out with a victory, gets more points for the exchange, goes to be 2-0. He's the first rookie to be 2-0 in the singles division this year. But overall, just what an incredible match between these 2 rookies who are really proving themselves to be quite good trivia players. Molly, what'd you think of this one?
This match had me like literally on the edge of my couch, my seat, my couch, the entire time. I was like, because I was like, I don't know who to root for. I think I wanted Peggy to win, but like after the first round, I was like, oh man, it's gonna be one of those matches, and I was just having a good time and really enjoying seeing them both playing really, really well. And the fact that they went into overtime in the undercard match before Alex and Andrew played, I was like, oh my God, I'm so stressed out. But yeah, oh man, I loved the match. I wanted to see Peggy win. I think she'll come back even stronger, but
I agree.
It was so close. It was so close. And those are the best kinds of matches to watch. So
especially when you watch 2 rookies, right? They're new to this, but these 2 specifically almost feel like they've been here for a while. Mm-hmm. Right? They feel like they've been involved, and they have obviously been watching, but they just feel like experienced players. They feel like they know what they're doing. Brian, this was a barn burner, man, and obviously Peggy's a friend of the show. We have yet to have Rager on. I'm sure we will soon, but what a great match! What a great undercard.
Yeah, not the match that I expected to go to sudden death, but
right,
wasn't mad about it either. That was just such a good match from the beginning to the end. Like, I mean, Peggy was strong as hell, and so was Rager, and it was just like, this is a really good match. And I was like, I almost wish like we had a rematch right after, because it was just like, I didn't want it to end. Like, that was just the way. Some of those matches, you just get there and you're watching it and you're like, I don't want this one to end. And this was one of those ones. Like, I mean, is it the level of, oh, this is the main event? No, but it kind of still felt like it in a way, like the way it went, the way it was going, the fact that I went to overtime, and I loved it. It was a great match, and it made me want to see them play again, because I feel like you roll the dice, maybe they play 3 times. One's going to win one, but that third match, you never know like that. So I think this was just fantastic match from beginning to end. And I do hope that they play again at some point.
A lot of the season so far, when we see these rookie matches, it almost feels like these rookies matches, and I'm the biggest one that I can call back to is Jacoby and Jacob. We're seeing like these rivalries being born, right? Mm-hmm. These players who
it's the rookies creating the rivalries.
Maybe they've known each other or whatever, and maybe it's the factions they're involved with. But and at this specific rivalry, it was like an intense, like you can feel like the intensity coming from both of them, how serious they were taking it, how much like they really wanted to be. On the flip side with Jacob and Jacoby, it's a rivalry, but it's a rivalry because they respect each other and because they're really good at movie trivia. Mm-hmm. And you can see them playing each other for a long time. And it's really cool to see these new rookies who the veterans are like, oh, why are we drafting all these rookies? They're proving themselves in wins and losses. Like Peggy, she proved herself in the first match. She made that massive comeback up against Paige. And then she plays great in this match. She ended up losing it in overtime. Rager proves himself. And then we can also talk about the second rounds. Peggy gets comedies, sweeps the board in like 5 seconds. Like she crushes comedies. And then Rager gets horror, which clearly is a strength of his or something that he really likes. It's really fun to see because we're still learning who they are and getting these personalities from them and seeing them match up against each other. And it goes again to the scheduling of what they're and who they're facing against each other. It's really, really working. It's really working.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun seeing these new players kind of like build their foundation a little bit. And then, I mean, I don't know if it was just me or not, but like you could see Rager kind of not lose his character, but the character kind of got put away because he was
when
like,
he started losing.
Well, no, it just the whole time, like once it started to get really intense, it was like, okay, like I'm playing this. Like, and so it was kind of just like, oh, okay. Like,
well, Peggy's one not to take any crap either. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
And so for him to just kind of like go like, okay, no, screw the character. Like I'm going for this win. Like it was pretty cool. And it kind of got me into it a little bit more. Cause I was just like, oh, this is not a joke now. So I loved it. This honestly was better than I could have ever expected.
Yeah, I agree. And we're obviously getting a lot of rookie stuff just because they need to be put in the forefront a little bit. So it makes sense, but they're all great matches so far. Nothing has really been a dud, for lack of a better term. Before we move on to Friday's match, we did get a Streamlabs from Mr. Ferris and Mathana, and he simply says, hello, Ferris. Thank you as always, man. Much appreciated. But yeah, let's move on to Friday's day match, which was a teams tournament match. And we finally got to see the debut of one of the most highly touted teams and anticipated teams of the season. We got to see Danger Zone and the midterms. We got to see Dan Merle and Ben Bateman teamed up for the dungeon, taking on Swag's team of Eric Zipper and oh my God, why am I forgetting his name? Jonathan Harris. Thank you. Jonathan Harris. I almost forgot his name. I wanted to say Lon for some reason, but obviously it's Jonathan. Look, we'll talk about Danger Zone. We'll talk about them, obviously, because they're a big part of this. But I wanted to say Jonathan Harris looked like a superstar. He looked incredible in this match. He looked as elite as his brother has. And Zipper played really well, really good as well. But Jonathan Harris really took over in that second round, played incredible. Of course, when you run up against someone like Ben Bateman and Dan Merle, it's going to be tough to come out with a victory. They're Danger Zone for a reason. They're considered to be one of the best of the team's tournament for a reason. But yeah, I thought it was an overall a much better match than I was expecting. But Danger Zone does look like the real deal, I will say. Molly, what do you think of your faction mates?
I'm stoked to have them have their first match out there and to see them just plow through the rest of this tournament. I will say there's so many teams already that I can't wait to see play again. Like Blackjack, for instance, midterms. Like I feel like all the teams are kind of on fire, and it sucks to see a new team get knocked out of the tournament so quickly, but we'll see them again, hopefully sooner rather than later. But yeah, Danger Zone is exactly what it sounds like, and look out for the rest of the teams.
Brian?
I was thoroughly impressed with midterms. We already know I'm a Zipper shill, so we'll get that out of the way. But yeah, no ring rest on Jonathan. And I've got to say, like, I was a little bit more impressed with Deception at the end of the day on this side of the bracket.
I would agree with you.
I mean, they played perfect. How can you not be?
Yeah. Yes, but if you would have asked me which team had this result, I would have gone them. And I'm not 100% confident that Danger Zone can get by Deception. I'm
Scandal.
going to say it right there.
So
Fan. But
I was gonna say this for predictions, but I put my bracket out before the team's tournament started, and I had Danger Zone winning. I don't know if they get by Deception now. I am it's Ben Bateman as Dan Murrell. It's hard to doubt them. I think I have more confidence in Dan Murrell than I do Ben Bateman at the moment. And it's not because of Ben Bateman's knowledge, it's because of his damn mouth. The dude will not shut up. And he got a warning in this match for talking in between questions, for kind of like almost antagonizing Zipper and Harris. And
Poor
sure,
Zipper.
it's funny.
Everyone just bullies him. Poor guy.
It's
First
character
Mike,
work.
Now Ben.
I get it. It's character work, but for me, it was a little too much, and it almost looked like Dan was not having it. It in a way almost. And look, this could be a total just character thing that's happening as far as storylines or whatever. And I'm sure they're going to get on the same page because look, they're Bateman and Murrell. They're the current singles champ and the former singles champ. Like obviously it's a super team. But I'm wondering how much trouble Bateman's mouth is going to get them in, because if it continues like they did this match, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I'm not saying the Danger Zone will for sure definitely beat Deception, because Deception is terrifying. They're a fantastic duo, and obviously the way that they've played, they're no joke. It'll be really interesting to see if that's where we're headed, to see these two teams play each other, because it might be the first time we see, both teams go perfect, and we get to go into sudden death for a teams match, So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be crazy. It's one of the matches this week, and as Tim Sims says, thank you again for the super chat, Tim. Danger Zone versus Deception is no doubt the match of the week. It absolutely is. With that, we can get in.
No slouch on either of the team's matches.
No, I mean that. Look, and we can get to predictions, and we can start with Friday's match. I mean, since we're on the topic, but Thursday's match is Rushmore versus Lightning Time. Like that is as much of a headache as Friday's matches. Plus, the second Star Wars tournament match is on Wednesday. It's Thomas Harper and Eric Whiteley. Like that's an absolute barn burner match as well. But let's start with Friday's match. Let's go backwards here since we are on the topic. Danger Zone and Deception. We have Dan Murrell and Ben Bateman. We have Adam Collins and Marisol McKee. Two former singles champs and the current singles champs, and someone who could possibly be on their way to fighting for a singles title in Marisol. Plus, it's Kaiser and Shannon, Dungeon and Corruption. Brian, I'm going to start with you.
No, damn it.
I mean, you know my answer.
Yeah,
there's not too much to elaborate on my side of things, but I am very excited to see them play each other.
I have no idea. I really just if I wouldn't have seen Danger Zone, if this was just a match between the two of them, like the first round, I would have picked Danger Zone. But I think I'm going to go with Deception on this one.
A lot of people saying that Bateman is going to blow it in round one. Interesting.
I don't know.
Or that he's like
teams
not a
going
round
perfect.
One player.
Teams going perfect the way Deception did. Not something that's going to happen all the time, if ever again. Well, okay, not saying ever again, but
if it happens again, I will be truly more impressed than I think I ever could have been with a teams match.
Yeah.
Real quick from Jamie Gore here. Bateman was in Zipper's head, so it worked, and that's very possible. It's very. I mean, look, Zipper didn't answer. I believe he missed the final question to give Danger Zone the victory. which very well could have been the case. Yeah,
I mean,
Brian,
if anyone's going to get in your head, it's going to be Bateman.
yeah, him and his big whiteboard.
Is that God? Stupid whiteboard.
Apparently, that is true.
Is that true? Really? Interesting.
Huh.
And does that include singles tournaments as well?
We're gonna change that real fast.
Yeah.
If I have anything to say about it, because I am the ultimate singles and teams coach, trivia coach.
Oh, thank you, Chuck. They did hit their 5 to make Danger Zone answer. That's right. Thank you. Yeah, a week ago, I would have said Danger Zone, no problem. But after seeing them play, I'm going to give the edge to Deception. I'm switching sides. I'm giving the edge to Deception on this one. I think Adam Collins and Marisol McKee.
Dan right now and saying, Brian and Jake hate you. And
he can tell him he can come rub it in our faces on the show if they end up winning this next week.
Jill's texting Deception going, they picked you. The opposite.
I go back and forth a lot, but right this second, I'm giving the edge to Deception. I'm giving the edge to Deception.
Here's my thing. Adam, we know what to expect from Adam. Marisol is so freaking lights out right now. Okay, but Marisol is so on top of it right now, like in the fact that she is paired with Adam, who is just always on top of it. Like, it's like, oh my God.
Well, I mean, look, they took Stephen King last week and it looked like it was nothing.
I do think a lot of this is going to come down to the wheel, much like every other match, really. The wheel is probably going to be the deciding factor going forward.
Let's be these two matches in the tournament are championship matches that happen to be in the second round of the tournament. For all these teams, they are all championship.
Give them both opponents and let's see what happens.
Right, that'd be incredible. Honestly,
let's get to the fine with seeing them both hit spinners and see
just see who gets the most points.
Either way, it's going to be good.
It'll be interesting
this week with teams. Teams has been so good since it's funny. Teams has been great always since virtual. Like the pairings have been so good. I cannot wait to see this week.
Well, speaking of the other one, it is going to be Rushmore and Lightning Time. Two teams, that we saw a few weeks ago. So we have John Roca and JTE for the exchange up against Ethan Irwin and Liz Shannon Miller for the usual suspects. And this might even be a harder one because look, on paper, before the tournament started, on paper, you're thinking, well, it's Liz and Ethan, like them together looks and sounds great. But after seeing Rushmore play and how well JTE has been playing this year, it's kind of a tough option here. This is a tough pick. Ethan and Liz have history. JTE and Roca are obviously paired very nicely together. Molly, I'll go to you first on this one. Are you taking Rushmore or are you taking Lightning Time?
Come to me. The one time I'm ready for you to come to me. You go.
Well, I will say I want Lightning Time to win. I think they will win, but I think it's going to be really close. A team like Roca and JTE is
everyone going Lightning Time.
Wow.
Here's one Rushmore.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't slouch on them. It's Roca and JTE. They know what they're doing. They are, some of the best of the best. They've won a lot of matches and they have the experience. So that's definitely going to give them a little bit of a leg up, but I don't know if it's going to help them win in the end. It all comes down to the questions. And so far from what we've seen with Lightning Time, they balance each other out so well. It's kind of similar to Deception in my mind, that they're working together so well because they know each other and they have a lot of experience, and they have a friendship, and so it's hard to root against the two of them. So I'm gonna go Lightning Time.
And this is a good point too. Roka TKO'd Liz recently, so it is a revenge match for her, which is a big deal. Brian?
Liz doesn't strike me as someone that does revenge.
I think she's got a hidden revenge that you don't see. I definitely think it's there.
It's stored under her hat.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm going Rushmore on this one. I know. Part of me just.
Sure. Well, I mean, he's in Ohio. I mean, it's not that special.
So. Yeah, Ohio.
They have oceans there all the time. Part of me like wanted to just say like JTE is going to carry Roka through to the champ just to like piss people off. I love when Roka gets all like.
I said it last week. People came after me.
No.
They came after me last week, and I said it.
Yeah, it's funny because, like I said, we're not hating on Ohio. You just guys have beautiful oceans
and palm trees,
and mountains and everything. But it's funny because I really want to see Rushmore versus Danger Zone just because of the names.
So badly.
Just for the names playing against each other. And I want to see Christian and Mark have to deal with 3 egos.
Oh boy.
Dan doesn't have one. But I just want to see that.
He might have one playing Roka, though. He might have a little bit of ego playing Roka.
I mean,
he might bring it out.
Since he's been in the dungeon, it's been coming out.
That's true. His is an ego. His is sass. There's a difference. But yeah, I think I'm going to go with Rushmore. JTE impressed the hell out of me in his match, the last one. And obviously I knew he was going to be fantastic because I drafted him on my team. And I'm very excited to see. I feel like there is going to be some chatter between Roka and Ethan, which is going to be good. So,
yeah, and Ethan has this these silent killer one-liners.
He's a sniper.
Yeah, like he just kind of comes out of nowhere and like takes a shot and then he like walks away. He's like, I just did that to you. Bye.
Yeah, he's a sniper. He hits you once, and then you're just like, God damn.
And he's gonna be doing it from his palm tree porch and like
in
living
Cleveland,
the life.
Ohio.
And Roko's gonna be like so like just amped up, and Ethan's gonna be like, "Hey, bro, I'm sipping a whiskey, sitting in the beach." Like,
he's got a beer in one hand, a whiskey in the other. And he's like, "I win no matter what, guys."
Yeah. Exactly. This is a very hard matchup, and it's a matchup I expected. I really, really liked what Lightning Time did the first match, but I will say out of the two, and I'm strictly going off the first matches, Lightning Time seemed to have a little, and as small as they are, a little hole that I didn't know that was there, and Rushmore didn't. Obviously there's going to be a couple questions here and there, like the first rounders or something that might stump you a little bit, but Lightning Time got an incredible pull from Liz at the final second to win that match. And Rushmore didn't technically breeze through their match, but they played really well and got themselves a big victory. So I'm going to give the edge to Rushmore. I would not be surprised if Liz and Ethan are even better this time around. As we mentioned multiple times, their chemistry and their friendship plays a huge part in this. But Roka and JT are one of the old school OGs. Like they've been around since the beginning, and that plays a big part as well. Either way,
you and I are teamed up.
We are teamed up against Molly at this point. Yeah.
No, it's this Frank and Jill.
Oh, in fantasy. I was saying
in fantasy. Oh, sorry. No. Fantasy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we don't want Frank to win. We don't want Frank to win. We want him to win.
I have a good feeling I'm not going to win the fantasy.
I don't know. You're on fire. Zach got you points.
I'm still at the very bottom, so
it'll come.
Yeah.
It comes in waves, and your wave just hasn't hit yet. So
I need to play again so I can get myself my own dang points.
There you go. All right. Well, next match, the first match of the week is a Star Wars match. It is a Star Wars. It's the second match of the tournament, and we are seeing the Den face up against the Quirky Mercs, and that is Eric Whiteley taking on Thomas Harper. Big matchup.
I feel like
Andrew
these two
Dimalanta,
teams
Dimalanta.
don't play each other very much.
They probably don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, they probably
not
don't.
Right?
very often.
When you said,
Uh-uh.
it's funny because Jake, when you said Den versus Mercs, I went, you don't hear that one very often.
Yeah, teams are definitely sometimes matched a little bit more towards each other.
Oh, absolutely. And it was just funny because I was just immediately, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was like, that's one I don't hear very often.
True story, Tim. True
Yes, she is.
But yeah, let's kick this off. Molly, I'll go right back to you. Thomas Harper, Eric Whiteley. Who you got? Who's moving on?
I mean, I would just automatically say Thomas, but I keep forgetting that Whiteley has the champ in his corner now, and that's something that no one should forget about. He has Dimalanta to help him study, so I'm like,
Don't say
oh.
it. We don't know. Sorry. I
Oh,
didn't mean to
yeah.
cut you off.
And even Dimalanta said himself that he's a little intimidated, or I don't think he said that, but he implied that the rookie that is Thomas is one of the ones to look out for. So I'm like, okay, I think Thomas has them sweating a little bit, as he should. He's a great player. He knows a ton about Star Wars. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Thomas on this one just because I know him. I know the way his brain works. And he's pretty determined. And anything he enters into that is like Star Wars trivia level, he's like, okay, I entered this so that I could win it, not so I can just play around and have fun.
Yeah, after seeing his first match, I'm going Thomas as well. And it's nothing. It's Eric. I think Eric has a wealth of knowledge. I think he'll play great this year and possibly for years to come. But I think Thomas is the first person in a while that has come into this league who hasn't been around the Schmoedown at all, who's a fresh face to like the community, everything, and is kind of in a way taking the league by storm. Adam played him incredible his first match. He got paired up perfectly up against Adam Witt, but Thomas, as Dimalanta was talking about, the way that he played looked like a game-changing style of gameplay. And I think that's going to come into factor. I think it's going to help him a lot. And so I'm definitely giving the edge, more than an edge, to Harper on this one. Brian?
I think Harper's going to win, but I think Whiteley is going to make it a big-time challenge.
I hope so. I mean, he played great his first match.
He did. He played very well. And I think that with many of Schmoedown competitors, you play one and then you get the bug to play again. And you kind of get that like itch and that drive to where you're like, okay, this is fun. I need another one of these. And I feel like he probably got that after his first match. Not to mention he has a fantastic fan base that wants to see him do well. And I'm sure he wants to prove himself. And what better way than to prove yourself against the hot new rookie that is in town and knocking him out of the tournament. So I think it's going to be very close. I think Harper's going to squeak this one out. But like I said, he's going to squeak it out from Whiteley. I think Whiteley is going to make him work for it. Big time.
So I'm not saying that Harper's first match was easy as far as like the stuff that he got, and because I don't know his knowledge, it wasn't easy in any form. But I will say that and we've had Thomas on the show plenty of times, and he's talked about it. But it seems like Empire Strikes Back is his favorite movie. He got Empire Strikes Back in the second round, and there were a couple questions that made him stumble. I want to see if there's something that really like makes him stumble or think, or maybe he misses something that gives him a lesser of a chance, and he has to just work his way. I want to see him like challenged, like really challenged in gameplay, Not so much
I thought-
questions.
I thought you meant you want to see him challenge.
Oh no.
And I was like,
I want
don't say that.
I want something to trip him up, and I want to see how he recovers. Essentially, is what I'm saying.
I will say, as someone who knows DragCon trivia pretty well, and this is most likely something that he knows that he should be already studied up on, but like DragCon trivia doesn't go into actors very heavily. So I'll be really interested to see if he gets like a deep cut actor question or voice actor question.
Like a third rounder?
Yeah. Something like or even like what Hoey and Whiteley got with who voiced Sebulba. Or they were given the name and they were like, who did this person voice? And it was kind of like a random name, and everybody was like, oh, that feels hard for round one. I'll be interested to see if he gets any kind of more behind the scenes type questions like that, because I don't know, DragonCon doesn't tend to veer in that direction as much. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets any of those types of questions.
So it's mainly like all in front of the camera for the most part?
Oh yeah, it's like, who's this random character that you saw in 2 episodes of the Clone Wars? Or what model is this ship exactly with the serial number, and what year did it come out?
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah, I'll pass.
Wow. All right. Well, all right. Well, that's going to wrap up tonight's show, everybody. We are headed into this week with lots to do. It is a Monday here, and we're going to be back at it on Wednesday for reactions to all the matches this week. We'll be here Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Possibly looking at having some guests with us to fill Jill's spot, because she sent us a specific list of people who could only join the show. Not anybody we can want, just the people that she wants.
A certain set of skills.
They have a certain set of skills. Yes, you are correct. And then obviously we'll be back on Sunday as well. And just a heads up to everyone, if you are interested, our Patreon has been kicking ass lately. If you guys saw the clip on Twitter, we challenged Jill and Molly to sport team logos on our recent Patreon Q&A. It was great. It was fun. Check it out. Very, very fun stuff over there. And Brian,
don't worry, they're gonna get revenge. They're gonna
they will
something
somehow.
They will
somehow.
Oh, the challenges will never stop in the POV Patreon. They've started something. They've created a monster, basically.
And yes, Brian Bailey.
It scares me to think that they're like her and Jill are scheming behind.
They're probably scheming with our patrons behind our back. That's probably what.
Absolutely.
But yes, Brian Bailey. Molly, we probably want to save this for maybe sometime this week, or do you want to announce it now?
I think we could save it. But
we'll save it. We'll save it.
We can. Have we said when it's going to be?
We have not said it, but we can announce that. Yeah.
Yeah. Happy hour is it is quite a wait since the last one, so I apologize with that, but it is going to be on Saturday, May 29th. And guests soon to be announced.
Yes, there's a duo. It's that far out just because we catered to our guest, and it's the weekend that they can do it. So we're going to have fun on Memorial Day weekend. And it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. Real quick. Sorry, we didn't talk about it. Star Wars FCL. We didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
For like 5 to 10 minutes, we'll finish off the show quickly talking about it.
Molly hasn't seen it.
I still haven't seen it.
Then you know what? We'll save it for later this week.
Well, you and I say it.
Well, I want to make sure we get Molly's take too, because she is an active Star Wars competitor. So we'll save it. We'll talk about it. We'll make predictions and all that stuff on our Twitter, and we'll save our FCL predictions that way. Our FCL talk on the Star Wars match for next Sunday. We'll just do a double whammy FCL stuff. We spent a lot of time with Andrew and Alex, which was great, which is what we wanted to do.
Well, look who decides to come by.
Hey, he hasn't been by in months, and of course, this is the reason why he comes by. I see what you're doing. You're
a little late. You're a little late. But yeah, he is good at the Star Wars. Did the FCL announce when any other Star Wars matches were happening?
They have not announced that.
Okay.
They announced the first official number 1 contender match, which is happening this week between David Campbell and Nick Harley tomorrow.
Yes. Yes.
Should we
Okay.
make our predictions of that one?
I'm gonna go David Campbell.
So am I.
Easy.
Me too.
How could you say? How could you not say anything or pick that accent?
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough, Troy. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm going David Campbell. I think the dude really has what it takes. I do, and I just hate that Nick Harley bashes on movies. So whatever.
He's going to build his dynasty. I can't do a Scottish accent. It's not coming now.
Don't even try.
Oh,
he
yeah.
bashed us for it last time, so let's not even try. Let's not even try.
I've already been butchering my Kiwi accent trying to deal with the Bad Batch, so I'm not even gonna go there.
Yeah. All right, well, that's going to wrap up tonight's show, everybody. Thank you so much to everyone who's been watching. And again, thank you to Andrew Dimalanta for joining us for the very first time. It was an absolute pleasure having him on the show, as well as Alex joining us. A great conversation between Star Wars competitors about, just the status of the Star Wars division and questions, all that stuff. And that included our very own Molly Damon. And we look forward to having that stuff more in the future. We'll obviously be talking about Dimalanta Kelly, which will be coming up very shortly. It's happening very soon. A month is not that far out. But for now, that's going to wrap up tonight's show on POV. We're going to be back on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for match reactions, 6 p.m. Pacific, right here for Star Wars and teams. You will see our lovely faces. No Jill for the rest of the week, but our lovely faces, plus maybe a few others. And before we get out of here, I'll let the crew say where they can find you online. Brian, start us off.
You can find me at B of Alcino on Twitter and Apocalypse Movies. What are we doing tomorrow?
Tuesday News Day.
Oh, fun. So if you want to hear some news on a Tuesday tomorrow.
You want to hear our real thoughts on Venom Let There Be Carnage trailer? Tune in tomorrow.
Oh.
Molly, what about you?
At Molly Damon on Twitter. Yeah. We finished building the Falcon last week, so we are starting. Finally, yeah, it took us since January. God,
17 shows or something like that.
Oh, but so we are starting a new build.
Swear to God, don't tell me you dropped it or something happened. Oh,
no,
okay.
It has not moved, but we are starting a new build. It's a custom BD1 build. However, we have our stand for the Falcon, and we are going to wait until the live stream next week to pick it up and put it on
camera. Yes,
its stand. So tune in for at least the beginning of that stream. I think we're gonna start a little early next week. Tune in for that to see if we can indeed get it on the stand and get it up above over our heads onto the shelf that we're trying to get it on. Oh my
God, this is wow! They're about to break the internet, everybody. They're about to break the internet and hopefully not break the Falcon.
I'd rather them break the internet than that Falcon. After
seriously,
how long it took
after 16 episodes or whatever, jeez, I'm sweating just thinking about it. All right,
I'm just waiting for Hilo or Pippin to just run under one of you guys' feet.
Pippin's gonna jump on top of it as they're picking it up, and there goes the antenna, like the original Falcon.
Yeah, that's fair.
The satellite dish, yeah, he'll just knock it off.
As Chuck says, maybe practice it before you actually go on camera.
Nah.
Do it for the bit.
Could we possibly see, since you guys' lives are boring now without any matches, returns to Twitch?
Ooh, possibly. Yeah. Definitely. Maybe.
It's not like you guys have anything to do or anything.
No. Nothing to do.
All right, you can find me on all socials at Qui-Gon Jake, 2 N's because someone else took it before I did. Schmoedown POV on Twitter, Streamlabs for questions and comments, Patreon again, guys. We already have our watch along picked out. We're not going to reveal it just yet, but it will be a fun one. Lots of
another
cool
movie
things
I haven't seen.
It is. It's going to be a fun one, and it actually just had its 25th anniversary. So do with that what you will.
Oh well, just give them the name.
Do you know how many movies came out 25 years ago? Come on. And yes, like I mentioned, we'll be back Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Again, thank you to everyone who watches, all 60, 70, 80 plus of you. Love having you guys aboard with the show. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Again, huge shout out to Andrew and Alex for joining us. And have a good night, everybody. And we'll catch you guys back on Wednesday.